beautiful day to go wheeling. Well, at least we have the LJ. Huh, something doesn't feel right. Jeez. We have the JK. The JK is always good to go. I guess we're gonna talk about air compressors. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be talking all about air compressors. You know, are you running 40s? Are you running 35s? Are you running 37s? Most everybody should know that when you go to off-road, you should air down your tires prior to wheeling. But what happens when you're done at the end of the day and you gotta drive home? You need to air up your tires. So there's a lot of different options on the market, and it's hard to kind of figure out what you need for your setup. So in this video, we're gonna take a look at all the popular options on the market and test them out and see which one is best for a certain tire size, and hopefully you can figure out what might suit your needs best. Let's get started. So let's take a look at what we're going over in this video. Not only do we have a Jeep on 35s, a Jeep on 37s, and a Jeep on 40s, we also have a big selection of some of the most popular airing up devices on the market. We have a PowerTank, a portable air compressor, another portable air compressor to give away to one of you guys. We also have the dual ARB air compressor mounted on the JT and the single ARB mounted in the JK. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is gonna be the most cheapest and affordable option, which is gonna be your portable air compressor. The great thing about a portable air compressor is the price. This is around $40. You can get them even cheaper, or you can spend even more on something like a Smittybilt or even the ARB portable air compressor. But this is gonna be your most budget-friendly option. It's not the best, but this is gonna be ideal for somebody who's on stock tires, 33s, 31s, or maybe even 35s. So luckily Cassie has 35s on her Jeep. So let's go ahead and see how well this works on 35s and see how long it takes to air it up.
Well, also you can switch these between vehicles. So if you have two stock Jeeps or two Jeeps that are like on 35s or less, you can switch them between the two.
So a portable air compressor does not require you to hard mount it anywhere. Like Cassie said, you can move it between Jeeps, and it's really easy to hook up. You can either use the battery terminals or plug that into your cigarette lighter outlet. So she's gonna hook it up to the battery. Let's time how long it takes to air up this 35. So right now the tire's around 0 PSI. Let's see how long it takes to air it up to at least 25 PSI. Is it?
Yeah.
All right, so it's been 11 minutes and it's smoking. Go ahead and turn it off. All right.
There you have it.
Yeah, 11 minutes and it's almost at 25. So Cassie did bring up a good point. We were all the way at 0 PSI. Whenever you're on the trails, you know, you might air down to 10 or 15 pounds. So it's not gonna take 11 minutes. So for the rest of this video, we're gonna put 10 PSI in all of the tires. That way it's kind of a good baseline.
Yeah.
But as you can see, the compressor's having a really, really hard time airing up the 35s. All right. So the portable is out of commission. That kind of throws a loop in the plans, but maybe it's the perfect example of why it's better to have a bigger air compressor than to try to make a little one work. Granted, this is a very cheap one on Amazon, and it would have kept up with the 31s, probably no problem.
Yeah.
But this is a prime example. Suppose we're out on the trail, Cassie's like, oh, I only have 35s, we'll use the portable extinguisher. That's what we need right now is a fire extinguisher. We'll carry the, the portable one, it'll work, we'll be fine. It's a good budget-friendly option.
Get by and then...
Until you're out on the trail and you aired up your first tire in 11 minutes, and your compressor's dead, and then you have 3 other tires to air up. So clearly this is not going to be the best option for 35s.
That was great timing.
That was
for that thing to die.
Yeah. We still do have the other one in the truck to do a giveaway, and we'll still give it away, but please, guys, be careful with it. You can do whatever you want with it. You can sell it. It's probably best for somebody who has a car or, a bone stock Jeep and you're airing up 30s or 31s. So we'll leave that at that. Leave a comment on what you're running. Hopefully you're not running this one. Sorry guys, but sometimes your money is best suited in somewhere different. So the next thing we're gonna do is move up a notch, the ARB Single air compressor. So the good thing about the ARB singles is that they are, this one's still,
it's connected.
yep. Good thing about air compressors that aren't portable is that they can be used for many other things. It's not like a TJ, Cassie. You're crazy. So,
you have the fancy hydraulic things in here?
heck yeah.
You have that under your hood.
So the ARB single could be used not only for airing up your tires, but also for operating lockers. If you have ARB lockers or Yukon air lockers, you need some type of onboard air source to operate your lockers on the trail. So that's when this becomes a great option. Not only can we air up tires, but we can also operate our lockers. So let's go ahead and turn the Jeep on, and we'll start with the 35s once again, because that test kind of failed. Yeah, I gotta go get the air hose. All right, so we are at 24.8 PSI. Our target goal was 25. Definitely close enough. Now for the timer, with the ARB single air compressor, it aired up a single 35 in 2 minutes and 17 seconds. So that's not bad at all. You know, we'd still have to do all 3 other tires, but that time is greatly reduced compared to our portable one over there that took 11 minutes for 1 tire. So the only downside to the ARB compressors is the price. This single unit is around $300, which isn't horrible because you can think of it as a dual use compressor. Not only do we air up our tires, but we can also operate our lockers in the future. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that this single air compressor will not air up 40s. However, let's see how long it takes for a single air compressor to air up 37s. That's what I did in the past. Before I went with the PowerTank, I was, and the 40s, I was running 37s on the JK, and every single off-road trip, I aired them up with the ARB single compressor. Now that we know the ARB single air compressor can air up a 35 in 2 minutes and 17 seconds from 10 PSI to 25 PSI, let's do the exact same test on a 37. Right now we're at 10 PSI. Let's grab this and see how long it takes. .8 PSI in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. So it's definitely a little bit longer than the 35, but that is not unreasonable. You know, for a single air compressor to air up a 37 at under 4 minutes, that's not bad. If we did all 4 tires, that would be under 16 minutes, which definitely is, you know, quite a while, but it's not bad for the price. While we're here talking about time, it's important to remember that you're only as fast as your group of buddies airing up as well. So you could have the fastest airing up system, but if your buddy takes 20 minutes to air up, you're still gonna be sitting around and waiting on him. However, it's really cool to have a super fast way to air up your tires, so then you can help everybody else around you. So now that we know this, let's move over to the dual ARB air compressor. Once again, we're gonna start off with the 35s, do the 37s, and then see how long it takes to air up a 40 with the dual air compressor. That thing just sounds impressive.
It does. Deep.
Ready, set, start. All right, 1 minute in at 22 PSI. 25.2 at a minute and 15 seconds. Boom, baby.
That's fast.
All right, time for the 37 with the dual ARB.
Okay, ready? You press start.
Ready, set, go.
Oh, it was at 10.7 by the way.
10.7. We are a flawed experiment. What's your guess? I'm saying a minute 35.
A minute 32. 27.
There we go. All right, 45 seconds in, what are we at? 19. 25 at a minute 21. Wait.
So I was closer.
Jeez.
Okay, I never win anything.
A minute and 21 seconds for a 37-inch tire. Time to bring this bad boy out up against the 40s. All right, last test with the ARB dual compressor going up against a 40. We're at 10 PSI. On your mark, get set, go. What's your guess?
My guess is a minute 37 seconds. What's yours?
I'm gonna have to say a minute and 52. A minute in, 21 PSI.
Check 137.
24.3.
Oh, that's right on the money, pretty much.
We'll call that good. All right, a minute, what was it? A minute what?
Minute 38. release when you stopped it. So
minute
about
38.
Minute 38 to get a 40 aired back up with a
25
dual gear.
PSI. Now, I will say that, you know, 25 PSI is kind of on the low end of what I'd recommend riding on the street, but for the purpose of this test, it's definitely a good number because you can get home on 25 PSI, you know, no issue. And plus, the bigger size tires don't require as much PSI. You know, on 35s, I'd recommend, you know, maybe 28 PSI. On 37s, bump it down a little bit, you know, 26. And then once you're up on like 40s, you know, 25 is more than enough. So we have all of the tests completed with the air compressors.
Yeah, the air compressors.
It's time to move over to the PowerTank. Before we dive into the PowerTank, let's talk a little bit about what we just found out about air compressors. We found out that the portable, cheap Amazon air compressor is no good for 35s. You probably could make it work. It's gonna take a very long time to air up all your tires. So then we moved over to the single ARB air compressor. And as you can tell, at, you know, $300, it did pretty decent. Not only can we operate lockers with it, but we can also air up tires. Our times for the single air compressor to air up a 35-inch tire was 2 minutes and 17 seconds, which isn't too bad. For a 37, it bumped us up to 3 minutes and 42 seconds. And we didn't even try it on the 40 because, guys, it's gonna take upwards of 4 to 5 minutes per tire. And it's gonna put a lot of stress on that air compressor, and eventually it's gonna stop working. We then moved over to the dual compressor with 35s that took 1 minute and 15 seconds per tire. Not bad at all. The dual with the 37 took 1 minute and 21 seconds. And then for a 40, it took 1 minute and 38 seconds. Definitely, those numbers are pumped up pretty good. All of those, 35, 37, and 40, none of that is gonna be crazy on the trails. It goes by pretty quick. Now, the issue with the ARB dual compressor is the fact that it does cost $540. It's pretty pricey, but it's not insane if you think about, you know, the longevity of this. We can air up our tires, we can do a lot of cool things with this, operate our lockers once again, and then if we pair the dual compressor with an external tank, we can also run power tools. So this is definitely by far the best option for airing up larger tires. The only downside to this is the fact that it is extremely big. It's a lot larger than a portable compressor or the single ARB. So you have to kind of get creative on where you're gonna mount it, and yes, it is a little bit heavier. Here in the truck bed of the Gladiator is a great spot for it, and I think paired with 37s, it's gonna be the best choice. So now that we talked about air compressors, there are other ones. You know, if you have an older model Jeep, you've probably heard of the York compressor, and what you do is take out your AC unit on your Jeep and put a belt-driven compressor in the engine bay. While that's a really, really cool idea, I would never want to ride around on the trails without AC. You know, I mean, if I didn't have a Jeep without AC, it'd be one thing, but I would never take out my AC just for an air compressor. So there's a lot of different options on the market for air compressors. Depends on what your needs are. I would skip the portable ones, you know, at least the cheap portable ones. The Smittybilt and the ARB portable compressors are pretty good, but it's just one thing that's not, you know, mounted in your Jeep. You're liable to forget it, and just kind of takes up extra room. So as for the single or the dual, I'll leave that up to you. Both of them perform well in that range of stock size up to 37s. Now, that was a lot of talking, 3 minutes to be exact. We're moving over to the PowerTank. The PowerTank is kind of an, it's in its own little world. Because it's not an air compressor, it's CO2, it's compressed CO2 that we can use to air up tires, run power tools, and pretty much do whatever the heck we want with. This thing is extremely powerful. We'll start off with this, with the 40, just to show you guys how cool this thing is. So when using a PowerTank, we can reuse our normal inflation device, or we can move over to their inflation that they use with the monster valves. So over here on the tire, we would normally hook it up right here and air it up. However, the PowerTank puts out so much pressure so fast that it's limited by our typical tire valve. So what PowerTank did was make a monster valve up here. You drill and tap your wheel. I've talked about them in previous videos, and it allows a lot more air to go in quicker and leave quicker for deflating. So for the first test, we just aired this up, didn't it?
Yes, we need to air it down.
Let's go over to the back one. It's already aired down. All right, we're at 9.9. On your mark, get set, go. Oh, crap. All right, we're at 10.2. All right, on your mark, get set, go. So let's set this down. $25 at 40. Yeah, I wouldn't, nope. Went down a little bit. We'll call that 25. It's close enough.
Under a minute.
Yeah, under a minute. And that's a 40-inch tire. Now, let's test it out with the actual PowerTank monster valve. We're gonna go ahead and air the tire down using our monster valve. So to air up using the monster valve, we're gonna use this special attachment here. Goes in. We're gonna hook it up to our monster valve, set it in place, and then get ready to air it up. On your mark, get set, go. And you can see this just climbing. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Under 30 seconds. Under
That's
20 seconds.
20 seconds. So if you do want to look into a PowerTank for airing up really, really fast, you're gonna have to go with the monster valves. The monster valves are what really allow the PowerTank to be used at its full potential. The only drawback to the monster valves is that we do have to drill and tap our wheel. But once you do it, it's not that big of a deal. So I mean, as you can tell, not many people need to air up their tires in less than 20 seconds. However, the PowerTank paired with the monster valves, not only can we air down extremely fast, we can air up incredibly fast. That was insane. So let's go ahead and take a look at how long it takes to air up a 35 with the PowerTank and a 37. We're at 10 PSI, go. Bless you. All right, around 43 seconds. Not too shabby. And last but not least, the 37 and PowerTank. We're at 10 PSI. Ready, set, go. 24. 25 at 40 seconds. So there's a little conundrum here. Your LJ just, what was the time on that? Around 40 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So this is a bigger tire than the LJ, and it just took the same amount of time. So what I'm thinking is that her valve stem, the little valve core in there, is either clogged up or it is a type that's really old and it's not allowing the tire pressure or the actual air to go in as quickly. So, and yeah, that does make sense because on hers, we are using a special type of external tire valve stems right there. So this lets you change it and repair it externally. So what I'm thinking is that this just might go a little bit slower. So 40 seconds for a 37 with the PowerTank, still pretty impressive. So as you just saw, the PowerTank is by far the fastest out of them all. Very fast.
There are some like drawbacks to it though.
There definitely are drawbacks. The price is gonna be the biggest drawback for most people.
Yeah.
They range from $400 all the way up to like $700, depending on the size and all the accessories you get with it. The PowerTanks, they can come with vehicle specific mounts. So all that kind of adds up because you can't just roll around with a PowerTank hanging out in the back of your Jeep. Now, a second con is that we are gonna have to fill it up. Unlike the air compressors that we just kind of pump in all this free air that we have around us, the PowerTank does have to get refilled with CO2. Now, it's not that big of an expense. It's around $15 to $20 to get refilled. One thing, if you do plan on getting a PowerTank, make sure that you have somewhere local to you that can refill it. It would suck to have one of these and then you're like, oh, I gotta drive an hour to fill it up? Heck no.
Or you get out on the trail and you forgot to fill it up after the last two trail runs. So there are like there is a con, but there's a pro at the same time.
Exactly. So what else do we need to talk about? The pro of the PowerTank is that, not only is it faster, but we can also bounce around between vehicles. Yeah. We can throw the PowerTank in the JT, we can throw the PowerTank in the JK, and we can throw it in Cassie's Jeep if we want to go wheeling as well. But that brings up another point. Cassie, after seeing all this, what airing up solution do you think you want? Right now, you're on 35s, but...
What do I want?
Yeah, I think 37s are going to happen soon.
I think I would want the dual air compressor for sure, because I got an air locker in the front. I'm going to want to have to air up all my tires, and then if I had to use a power tool, I could.
You could
do an air tank in there too.
Could.
I could do all of those three. But could I get by with a single air compressor? Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's see, the single with the 37 took 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Multiply that times 4, it'd take you about 16 minutes to air up, which isn't horrible.
I could get by with that.
Yeah.
And I'm only as fast as who else I'm out on the trails with, so not including Ben, because he has the power tank with him most of the time.
I'll be aired up and ready to hit the road in less than 4 minutes. So.
I feel like most of our friends that we do go wheeling with have like a dual air compressor or a single, so I feel like that's probably the best setup for me. Would be the
best
dual.
setup. Now, I will mention my setup that I really do like is the PowerTank to air up the big massive 40s, but also the single air compressor to operate my locker, with the option of, you know, helping other people air up. So when I get off the trail, I air up my 40s with the PowerTank, and somebody else can use my single air compressor. If they're on 35s or 37s, they're able to use that and air up. And in the event that my PowerTank does completely run out of CO2, I can rely on my single ARB. It would probably take close to like 45 minutes to air up the 40s, but it's always there as an option. So if you do go with the PowerTank, it's a good idea to have some type of backup.
We don't just jinx ourselves. We need to make sure it's full next time we go.
Yeah. But as you guys can tell, there's a lot of different options, and hopefully in this video you're able to kind of relate. You know, if you're on 35s, you kind of see all the options, see how long they last, and you can base your own opinion on what you might need. Now, I know a lot of you already have air compressors. Let me know in the comments what tire size you run, what compressors you've run, and how you've liked them over time.
Yeah.
I think this video is coming to a close.
It's good. We talked about all the prices, right?
All the prices,
Portable is how much?
Anywhere from, you know, 40 bucks to 120, depending on what brand you want to go with. The ARB Single is around 300 bucks. The Dual is going to be around 540, 550, depending on the options. And the PowerTank is going to be around 400 up to 700, depending on size and options. So, as you can tell, of course, airing up quicker does come with a price.
It does, yeah.
But so does time.
And I think it's neat that we have a different one on each vehicle.
Different one on each one. Only one we have not decided yet is with the LJ, and hopefully with this test we'll kind of figure out what we want to go with. I think an air compressor and a PowerTank.
Like a little baby PowerTank, like a 10-pound one, like a 5 or 10 pound.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think we should do it.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Until next time, right?
Until next time. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys later.
And as always, no, I'm kidding.
You can't steal it. All right, guys. I'll see you later. All right, I almost forgot. I did say we are giving this away. So you guys saw what happened to it with the 35s. If you do still want it, it's still a good air compressor. It would still be better than nothing. Plus, it's free to one of you guys. If you do want to win this, go down to the comments, leave a comment saying you want to be entered in this giveaway, and in a few videos, I'll randomly select a winner and send it out your ways.
And if you do have like 35s or 37s and win it, you don't have to keep it. You can give it to like your mom or someone who like, just in case needs it. I don't know. Just
I think this is gonna be best for somebody who is under 35s or smaller. But it's definitely a good solution to airing up. So if you want to be entered, go down, leave a comment, give the video a thumbs up. Of course, you have to be subscribed, all that stuff, but just let me know in the comments that you want to be entered to win this air compressor. This time, we're seriously out. Peace.